Okay, so I'm the founder of this company. It's called Muru Music Health. And essentially what we aim to build is a music listening service to help you stimulate your brain to ward off some of the effects of brain aging. And I can secretly tell you that I built this initially for my mother. My mother is 73 years old and lives in Spain. And she's absolutely obsessed with music, but has in the last couple of years struggled to find a way to easily listen to the music that she loves. CDs are not that common anymore. Most music is online, but she struggles a little bit with some of the platforms because they're a little bit too technical. So I wanted to build a tool for her that, as she describes, she didn't have to worry about breaking the internet. She was always afraid that if she touches a button on a website that the internet would break. So as I mentioned before, I'm not going to do the full presentation because I'd much rather just talk to you about the benefits of music and how to set up a profile. So I'll just jump in straight to that. Now, I'm assuming the three of you are here because you enjoy music. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the benefits that music listening actually has on the brain. And this is something that I've studied my whole career pretty much for the last 20 years. And I was always particularly interested in understanding the benefits of music to the brain, but also the body. So there's three key things that I'll talk about today. The first one is brain exercise. The second is memory. And the third is the regulation of hormones in the body. If at any time I'm going too fast or something's not clear, feel free to just speak up, interrupt me, ask me questions, completely fine. So the first one is brain exercise. Now there's a couple of key things here. The first one is, as we get older, and this is true for everyone, our body starts changing. We might see, gray hair, or we start getting pain in the joints that we never felt before. But one thing that is less common that we don't really talk about is the stiffening of the cells in our brains. And this happens to everyone. It's completely normal. But listening to music is actually one of the best ways to keep those cells active. And the reason for that is that, as far as research has been able to prove so far, it is the most demanding process for the brain to listen to music. And this is whether you're playing an instrument yourself or listening to music that you love. And the reason for that is that when our brain has to analyze a song, it uses all parts of the brain to be able to do that. When it's detecting the melody, or when it hears a male or female voice, what are they saying? The rhythm, is the song happy or sad? And these are all different parts of the brain that are being used to be able to understand what we're hearing. And in able to make sense of all of that, these different areas of the brain also have to communicate with each other. And this is really where the benefit comes in. So it's a lot of effort for the brain to make sense of the music, but it feels effortless to us because we enjoy music. So it's a great stimulant. I do it myself daily, and I'll talk about that in a moment, why I think you should as well. Now the second is memory. I'm sure you've talked about this before with friends. We know that memory is a very powerful thing, and we know that as we get a bit older, we tend to forget things. Again, completely normal. But what's really great is that if we listen to certain songs from our past, from our childhood, particularly from our teenage years, they're often linked to particular memories from that era. And our brain is much better at remembering things if a song is attached to it. And I don't know if this has happened to one of you before, that you've heard a song that you haven't heard in years and it reminded you of going to school, or perhaps even your first love, or whatever else it might be. And again, the reason for that is because when we are teenagers, our brain is basically a sponge. We are absorbing tremendous amounts of information continuously, and oftentimes many of those experiences are first-time experiences, like falling in love, for example. So this is a really great way to be able to recall memory. And when we recall memory, particularly ones from many, many years ago, again, it stimulates the brain in a certain way. For one, it triggers our emotion. So now we have the part of the memory and part of the emotion that are communicating together. But that has a chain reaction, and that then also lights up other parts of the brain. So again, a really great way for stimulation. And the final one, which is always a very interesting one, is regulating the happy and the stress hormones, as I like to call them. So on the one end, we all have the stress hormone called cortisol. We actually need this to survive. It's very important for our bodily functions. But too much stress is not good, as we know. And it can lead to quite a few terrible symptoms, really. It can be high blood pressure, it can be anxiety, it can even lead to depression. But it could also do things like really mess up your sleeping patterns if there's too much stress. And listening to relaxing music is actually proven to be one of the best ways to reduce stress naturally. It reduces the cortisol levels in your body to a level that your brain is able to cope with, and it gives you a sense of, relaxation, really. But on the flip side of that, we have a hormone called dopamine. And dopamine basically sends messages from the body to the brain and vice versa. It's called a neurotransmitter. So it's also responsible for making connections between different parts of the brain. Now, as we get older, our dopamine levels naturally decrease. So a very good way to increase the balance again is by listening to music that we love. Now, it's important that I say here music that we love, because when we listen to songs that we know, that we are familiar with, that we enjoy, it gives us an energy boost. And that is because the dopamine and the serotonin are released in our body, and it stimulates the brain to let the brain know that we are now happy. We are experiencing something joyful. Again, it is a very easy and natural way to do this. Now, Anita, I believe you mentioned before you're in a choir. This is another fantastic way to release the dopamine in your body as well. And there's the added level of communication, because you're generally singing with others. So there's this group activity happening, which is incredibly important. But in moments that you can't do that, then you can very easily replicate this at home by listening to music that you love. Now, the reason I'm here today is because we partnered with Stockland to be able to donate 500 memberships to our music service so that you can enjoy music for free for 6 months. And the reason we wanted to do this, there's a bunch of reasons for this, but obviously I really believe in the power of music. I know the benefits of it. I've seen it in my career for many, many times. It saddens me a little bit that music isn't a formal part of any type of living, particularly residential living. I'm very happy to hear that there's choirs in most residential villages, but sadly not enough music experiences at home. So I'm hoping that we can solve this problem with this. And what I would like to do is I'm going to show you how you can create a music profile, and then if you're interested, I can then show you afterwards how to sign up and do everything else. I promise you it's very, very easy to use, but what I'll do is I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment so that I can change. Is all of this making sense so far? I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I didn't realise the importance, so much importance on music. I mean, I like music, I love music, but I didn't realise.
Yeah, it's obviously I've made this my life's work to be able to talk about this because it's unfortunate that we don't know this. We often just see it as a pastime and that we enjoy it and that's it. But we don't think about the fact that if we enjoy something, what effects does that actually have on our body and our brain? And particularly for the brain, there's so many benefits. I really, careful, I can talk about this for hours and I won't today. So I'll just share my screen to show you how we can set up a music profile.
Yes, thank you.
So I'll go, where is the screen? Okay, there we go. So we have to change this one. and then you should be able to see our website, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You can all see Muru Music Health?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
So this is our website. There's lots of information on here as well on the benefits of music for the brain, how it works. But today I just want to show you how you can create your music profile. So when I hit launch music, this will automatically open up into the music player. Now I've already logged in, but what I want to show you today is how to create a profile. So this is a website, so you can connect to this from your computer, if you have a tablet, or even your phone. It doesn't matter. It's on the internet, on a website, very easy to use. So if I hit create profile, now I'm going to use my mother as an example here, just because I know the music she would pick. So it's a very easy one for me. But in order to create a music profile, we ask you a couple of questions. And the reason for this is we are scanning millions and millions of songs, and we are creating 3 playlists that we think are the best for you and to maximize the benefits of brain stimulation. So the first one's very easy. We ask for your name. So if I'm doing this for my mother, my mom's name is Anna. She's a female, and she was born in 1948. Let's go to the birthday. So this is step 1, very easy. Then I can hit next. And the second set of questions is around the language you speak and where you were born. So in my mother's case, she was born in the Netherlands. There we go. Her first language is actually English, and she spent her teenage years in Australia. So I'll go to next. And then the third and the final step is some information about the music that you love. Now, for some people, they might know exactly which artists they love or the genres, or you might not know everything. That's okay. Whatever information you can provide, that helps us personalize the experience. So if I were to do this for my mother, I know she loves soul music and jazz and classical. And then I can add some artists in here, like Lynn, and I'll do Aretha Franklin, and well, I'll do one more, Frank Sinatra, for example. Okay, so that's it. That's all you have to do to create the profile. You hit I'm finished, and then this takes a moment because this is where our computer engine is looking at all the different songs to find the right ones for Anna. So this takes about 6 seconds, and then as soon as it loads, we say, take me to the music. And then here I can choose whether I want to listen to music to help me relax, whether I want to trigger memories, or if I want to listen to music to energize me. So again, very simple. So I'll choose relax. And then here is the relax playlist for my mother. And it's got all of the information that she provided. But what we are able to do with our service is find lots of different songs that have a very similar, what we call vibe, which is basically the energy and the feel of the song. Songs that fit together well. In this case, these are songs to help you relax, but you can very quickly switch between the playlists that you want to listen to. So it's very easy to use. While you're in there, you can also provide feedback. And this is really important for us because that automatically then adapts the playlist to tailor to your needs. So for example, with this Frank Sinatra one, my mother might say, I love this song, reminds me of my first love. Now you don't have to provide this information. You can simply just say that you like the song, but this helps us find more music that you will potentially love. So I fill that in, and that will complete in a second, and that will automatically update the playlist for me. Now, if at any time, as you can see there now, that's blue. At any time, you can also reset the playlist. So if you're listening to the songs here, but you just want to experiment with some new songs, or you want to listen to something new, you can just hit this button and it will update all the songs. But you don't have to worry, any song that you have favorited will always stay there and will be remembered by the system. And if there's a song that you don't like, for example, you say this song I don't like for whatever reason, then we will automatically remove that for you. So over time, this really becomes a very personalized experience for you. So now I get to talk a little bit about what I'm particularly passionate about, which is how do we use this day to day. So you will all have your own schedule and routine, and most people, like you mentioned before, Janice, think of music as an activity that you do and then you don't really do anything else. But actually we found that if you use music as part of your daily routine, whether it's you're cleaning the house or you're cooking or you're playing puzzles at home, it's actually really, really good to have music playing in the background. And it doesn't have to be loud at all. It has to be loud enough so that your hearing can pick it up, so that your brain can process it. That's really the key there. But so what we generally want to recommend to people is that they use this on a regular basis as part of your daily routine. So we have a family friend, actually, it's quite funny because he's very competitive, but he plays Scrabble with his wife every day, and sometimes better than others. But he is now using his memory playlist when he plays Scrabble with the wife, because he finds that he generally is able to concentrate better and create some better words that score higher points. So as I mentioned, very competitive, and so he's using music in that way. But for everyone that can be different, and there's no wrong answer, but the idea is try and listen to music on the background rather than just a specific song with headphones on and then move on, because this is a gradual process. So this service obviously is live today, and you can all have access to that. And Stockland will provide each and one of you information on how to do that, but I will also add that information here. So if after this call you want to set this up, you can, and then it's free to use. If you struggle with creating an account online on a website because you're not comfortable putting in passwords or things like that, I'm more than happy to help you set this up, because I would really love you to just be able to enjoy the music as quickly as possible. So I believe you also already have my email, but if not, I will add this in. I will add my phone number, and we can always just set up a time to have another chat after this and run through whatever it is that you need to get you set up. So that's pretty much it.